welcome. I've got the last of the Christmas projects for you here today. We're going to be making Christmas crackers. So let's get started. Okay, I got the camera all set up. Here we go. As I said, we're going to be making Christmas crackers today. The first example that we're going to do, we're going to use these dies, the cracker and treat box dies. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I made a lot of these. I made about 35 of them for my husband to take to work. And so what I'm going to do is show you how you can get 4 of these. Good. Here's the die. Oh, sorry. Here's the die. You can get 4 of these out of a piece of 12 by 12 paper. So I just wanted to kind of show you how that works out. And if you take, you're going to cut your paper in half first, which it's 15.2. If you're working in metric, it'll be 6 inches. If you're working in imperial. So we're going to start out by cutting it in half. We're going to turn. You're going to want 16 centimeters or, no, we want 13 centimeters. Right, 15.2 this way, 13 this way. We only need enough, oops, sorry, for the die to sit on here like this. So let's turn this and set this up. So here is my 13 centimeters, or that is 5 1/8. Now once we cut these, 13, you're going to have a little strip left over here. Now what I like to do with this is I like to make these kinds of Christmas crackers instead of this one. This is what it looks like if you just make it straight up. And this is what it looks like if you add an extra piece in here. So I'm going to show you how to add the extra piece, and we can talk about that as we go. So what I do is with this bit that's left over, we're going to cut our extra piece. So your piece is going to be about 2 centimeters wide. So I put that in there at 1 centimeter. Oh, let's put this back up here. I put this in here at 1 centimeter, and we're going to score. Then I'm going to move it to 3 centimeters, and you can see, you can find the coordination. So here we're going to do it at 1, 2, is that 2/8? No, not quite. Yeah, you probably want to do 1.5. I prefer working in centimeters, it's a bit more precise, but that's okay. You know, it's all on what you're used to. Now I'm going to cut this sheet, this little tiny bit, in half. So I set it on the 2 centimeters or the 3/4 of an inch. And we'll cut this piece in half like this. And now I have 2 pieces. I'm going to trim it. You don't have to. I don't know. I like being precise whenever I can. All right, so little tiny bit left over. Now you've got a mark here, and you just fold along that. Now we didn't get that entirely straight, which happens with little tiny pieces. Oh, sorry, let me move it. We didn't get it entirely straight, which happens with little tiny pieces. But when you see what we're going to do with it, it's not going to matter. You just need to be able to fold it. See, this one came out straight. But that's what happens when you work with little tiny pieces of paper. All right, let's put this away for the moment. And we're going to die cut. So let's get out my big chunk. There we go. Make this. And put our bits of paper in here. Oh, I probably should have done that this way. That's all right. We'll do it sideways. It doesn't really matter. Because the patterns, I can use the back side as well, because this is a really pretty pattern. Let's go with these. I like this one. So I like to put my dies, I stick them down with just a little piece of tape. There's not much there. And then I just roll it through. Whoops. To hang on to it. My desk is a little slick. There we go. Now I'm going to do this again. can see how gorgeous these turn out here. Turn it up. Drop all the little bits. And as I said, I'm going to go ahead and do both of these so I can show you the difference. Sit up here. Now, I've talked about this tape before. This is the Post-it note. They don't call it Post-it note tape. They actually call it labeling and cover-up tape. Now, I have heard that there are, I think Cricut makes a product that is sticky tape that's very, very similar to this. In fact, I think it's actually made by 3M. So if you run across that too, it does the same thing. All right, we are through with our big buddy here. So I'm going to put this down and away at the side. There we go. All right, and using these dies, guys, this is just so easy. All you have to do is fold. See the score lines? The score lines show up better on this side. Let's do this one this way. And you're going to fold them all, what I call folding them in. But you're going all in the same direction with the outside pieces. Okay, and then we have score lines here. Now, you're going to accordion fold these. And I'm going to show you here. This is going to be important because you're going to see this again when we work on the large ones. But if you look closely, you'll be able to see that score line. And just give it a good mash. And now, this center one, the middle of the diamonds, you want to fold this direction. And then the top bit, we're going to go back in. And that's what I'm calling the accordion fold. Do that. And there we go. And now here, like this. All right, there you go. Now, if you make these just as they are intended, coming right out the gate, you will fold this down. Let's put our glue here. Let's get it all up. Oops. Oh, I hate blobbies. And fold this over. Now, you want to fold it. Make sure your ends are lined up. That's much more important than the center because your ends are going to that's what shows out this direction. So you didn't quite get that one lined up. It's a little tiny sloppy bit. Oh, it's not stuck down, that's why. All right, well, we'll have to re-glue that one. Now, while this one is drying, before we do anything else, I'll set it aside. Let that glue dry. Now, with our second one, we're going to do exactly the same thing, except before we start folding, this is where our little strips come in. So you take your strips, you want a little bit more even one, and put a bit of glue on here, like this. And we're going to glue it down. Now, I start on one side, put it to the end, or you're going right to that fold line. And just pop it right up there like that. Give it a squish. And don't worry, we're going to cut that out. So we won't have these little glue squishies there. It doesn't matter. All right, let's leave that to dry. Now, we should be dry here. And to fold this in, remember I told you we're accordion folding. So see, this naturally wants to go in. So you just push it down, and there you go. That's how we get the shape on that. And then you tie it with a bit of ribbon, and you are good to go. This will hold 2 pieces of, oh, let me get it. I've got some over here still left over from my big project. I used roses and I used some of the Quality Street chocolates. So this will hold 2 of these just perfectly. You have to kind of stuff them because of the edges, but it does hold them and it works out so great. Especially like my husband, my 35, they went to my husband's work. Now, what didn't fit in this and why I came up with this was for my Christmas dinner. I used the Lindor chocolates, and I've already got them packed up. I didn't think to save one out. Well, actually, I did save one out, but I ate it. But the little round red Lindor chocolates, they don't quite fit in here. You have to really kind of squish them in, and it doesn't look very good. So that's where I came up with making this and doing this method here. So now with this method, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out these pieces. I'm going right to where that line is. I don't know if you can see it. Cutting that, and then we're cutting in because we want both of these sides to look just alike. Good. Like that. Oh, sorry, don't want to put the glue thing in the floor. That's not good. And clip this. And I didn't glue it all the way on the end because I wanted to clip off the. So you still see my pretty little, what do you call those? Scallops, yeah. Now we're going to fold, just like we did the other one. And both folder, and we go rolling in, and this, you've already got this. Fold it down. You can just give it another good. Oh, I didn't cut that edge off. No. Whoops. There we go. All right, same thing. We're going to fold the top edge to the inside and give it a squish. Then we're going to go back to the outside and give all our little guys sort of a little pat down. Then back to the inside, just like we did on the first one. Now, what I did was I first learned how to make these a couple of years ago. The absolutely lovely Sam Caldecott. And I want to give her full credit with this. If you've not checked her out on YouTube, she does amazing paper craft projects. But a couple of years ago, I followed her instructions. But they were in, everything she does is in Imperial. And as you guys know, I like to give you both Imperial and metric. All right, now we're going to fold our flaps in this time. Instead of putting glue on the whole edge, we're just gluing this little tab that we attached. Like this. Well, see, that wants to come out, so I'm just going to give just a tiny bit more there. There we go. Fold down. There. And here. Glue. Now, you can do this. When I'm in a hurry, I prefer to use the Stampin' Seal. Use my tape runner. It's a lot faster, but I don't know. The glue to me just seems to come out a bit cleaner on these. Because the Stampin' Seal is wider than the actual tab, not doing these, but doing this one because it was wider, I kind of kept winding up with little glue bits I would have to scrape off. All right, so let's let this sit a minute. Now we're going to get out for the big ones. Let's put these aside. Need all of this. Now what I have done for you guys is on my blog post. I do hope you go visit the blog post that coordinates with this. I have made a great big piece of paper here. I hope you can see that. Let me just stand up to make sure. So this is Christmas crackers in 2 sizes. This is the large size, which is this one, your basic standard Christmas cracker. And as you can tell, this one's waiting to be stuffed. And then I made a medium size one. This is the one that killed me, folks. This is what took me so long to work out. Like I said, this one, I had Sam's Basics that I could start with. I still had to rework it because you can't, because of the differences in paper sizes. Because of the American papers, Imperial papers are all 8.5 by 11. And the papers that we use here in Europe and the UK are size A4, which is only, well, they're not as wide. It's only about 8.25. So that makes a big difference, 21 centimeters. All right, let's see, this should be done by now. Let's fold this and then you can see why this one looks different. So we're gonna push that down. Now these will go push all the way down because we have used, oh, don't do that. It's being icky here. Stop that. Because we have used an even number, they'll actually fold all the way to the inside. And your regular Christmas crackers look like that. And as you can see, this one is a bit fatter. You can see that. And this fits those Lindor chocolates just lovely. This also takes some other mini things that work really well. So anyway, that's how you can take, oh, go away. That's how you can take your regular cracker size and then alter it a little bit to make something a little bit bigger and look slightly more traditional. All right, now we're gonna make a big Christmas cracker like this guy. So what I'm going to do is while I'm talking, I'm literally following along on this sheet. The way I have set this sheet up, and I have already cut my paper to be ready for you, is I have cut my paper. It's 19 centimeters this way or 7.5 inches. And then down in this way, it's 28 centimeters or 11.5. So we are pretty much ready to go on this. And like I said, this is 11.5. Did I do that? Yeah. So what we're going to do is these are all score lines. And we're going to start on the top here. And I need to stand up and make sure you can see what I am doing because this is a little tricky. My first score line is going to be at 3 centimeters. So I'm going to line that up, make sure it's flat to the top. There we go. And we're just going to score. And then we're going to move it to 6 centimeters. And, whoops. Line it up. And score. And then 9 centimeters. Yes, each section is a 3 centimeter section, if you haven't figured that out yet. Or 1 1/8 inches, if we're going on the... Now we're moving down to 12. Then 15. And our last one is 18. Let me expand my arm here. 18. There we go. And what I have left is the little tab. Remember, like we made over here. So this is our tab. Now I'm going to turn it this way because now we're going to do this top bit. I don't really need this. Now for the top bit, we're going to go in 4.5 centimeters. So we're going to line that up here like this. And you can see now my long sheet is going this way. So give that a good push. And now we have 6 centimeters. So you can tell it's just a very, very small little one right here. And then it's 7.5. Now, rather than give you, like we did on the bottom, then I gave you the numbers, so we just kept sliding it over and over again. If you get in the habit of turning around the other way and repeating, and what this will do is if you look on your piece of paper where they're they're shown out. If you want to make this shorter and fatter, all you do is reduce the size right here. Or if you want it longer, you make from here to here bigger. So you can see how that's done. Okay, so this side, we're going to go 4.5. Sorry, that is my cat jumping in his box. He absolutely... My cat is the biggest Stampin' Up! Fan ever because he loves Stampin' Up! Boxes. Whenever I get a delivery, he stands there and waits for me to unpack it. And if I don't unpack it fast enough, he gets right in there with the product. He doesn't care. All right, we are done with this for the moment. Now we do the exact same thing that I did with the die. So we're going to roll all of these inward. Like this. And the next one. Come on. Stampin' Up! Paper is so lovely. It's nice and stiff, which is why you saw me going over it a couple of times when I was doing the scoring. All right, there is our going all around. As you can see, here's our cylinder. Now we're going to do the bottom part. And remember what I told you, we fold to the end first inside. And we're going to accordion fold on the next line. So you're folding to the outside, and then we're going to fold to the inside. Again, I can't see my line. It's because I folded on the wrong line. Now that, and then outside. So that we have this little, see how that's folded? And we're going to do that on the other side. Make sure I can see my line. Boy, this red is so dark, it's difficult to see. There we go. There we go. Give that a good, nice press down. Now, I hear what you're saying, Lori. Where are all the cutouts? Now we're going to do the cutouts. To do the cutouts quickly. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Sam has a envelope punch, I think, and she was doing them with a punch, and I don't have one of those. So this is how I do it. Take your middle fold line. Remember I told you this is the one that's going to be folded to the outside. You're going to refold these so that we now have an accordion fold going this way. It's not going to hurt it. Actually, I'm going to do the other side because we're doing both sides. We're going to just do them all at the same time here. That'll make life easier. So that goes in this way, and now this way, and this way, and here, and there. Okay. Now the tough part. You can see we've got this, fan that out so you can see what we're looking at. This is going to be our outside. We're going to cut our triangles now. The easiest way, I did it, ooh, I'm glad I'm looking, did it on the wrong one. See, look, I did the wrong one again. That's what we want. There we go. Let's put our things back. Reason I know to look at it is we're going to use this fold line here. I'm hoping that you can see that. Let's see, do I need to move it a little closer? There. Can you see that line? And we're going to cut on this, and you want to just above it, don't cut on it, and angle that in so you almost go to the center but not quite, and saw on it a little bit. Need big heavy scissors. Your really pretty fancy snips are not going to work for this. Again, I'm going over and then I'm whacking off, taking a triangle out. See, I'm going to cut that just a little bit more, I think. There. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. There's your line. You want above that line and toward the center, like that. And I find it easier to do this down here and toward the center. Now, you want about 5 millimeters right here. A little more than 1/4 of an inch maybe. 1/4 of an inch will work. Don't want a whole lot right here. You want this to be quite the narrow little piece. All right, and now when we unfold this, ta-da! I bet you recognize that shape now. We already have our tab, so just going to cut off these little wild bits here, like that. There goes. And there we go. Got all that lovely bits out of the way. Now refold these, which won't take you much. See, it's just a matter of coaxing it back down into place. And we're going to put some glue here, like this. And here we go. This will fold in half. So basically just lay it down, fold it half. And remember what I told you about the small ones. You want the same thing here. You want to make sure that end is lined up on that side. And it'll be a little, you know, a little wonky. But you'll see that when you get this folded, it won't be wonky anymore. All right. That's extending a little bit. Don't quite that much showing there. There you go. There's a nice thing about glue is you've got just a little bit of slip time in there. Oh, we didn't have quite enough slip time, so I'm just going to trim this little wild bit off. Certainly doesn't hurt anything or anybody. Let's keep this pressed down for just a minute. Now, the only difference in the large Christmas cracker and the medium-sized one is the size of your paper. Where is this? If you're going to make the medium cracker, your paper is only this big. And I have the measurements laid out exactly the same, but as you can see, they're much smaller. Yeah. All right, let's see. Now, this one, because it's bigger, I'm going to have to coax these bits to go in, but they will. And if you sort of push down on it, there we go. Look at that. And let's do this side. Just push in on it. When I do these for myself, I do make the glue a little bit longer to dry. Now, top tip, when you're making these, go ahead, push it down like this. I don't know if you can see on the inside there, but these are sticking to the inside. Put your finger in and push them down. And by doing this, you're reinforcing this fold here, like this. And that way it will do better. This one doesn't need as much reinforcing, but I can just give it a little bit anyway. But it's difficult to see down in that hole, but you can see how let me see if I can angle the lights. Oh yeah, you can see it. All right, see those lines down in there? When you push that down, they're up. I'll see if you can see what it looks like when I crush them down. All right, so now I've crushed them down, so they're much further in there. But when you do this, it just gives you a nice pop-up area. And then you take and you wrap the edges, and those are your Christmas crackers. I'm not doing a lot of finishing because I'm going to be using these for our Christmas. So I'm going to keep these aside and do them up. But like I said, this one's full of candies. I did 36 of these full of candies. And now this size, and you'll see on your paper on the bottom it says alternative. Now my printer bit it, but it should be fine on yours. Alternative paper size for mini liquor bottles. So one of our Christmas things we did was have a friend that likes gin and her husband likes whiskey. So we bought the little mini packs of the try 'em outs, and I took them out of the pack and rewrapped them in these. This is the liquor bottle size. Now I don't know for you folks in the United States, because mini bottles are all different sizes. But this fits a mini hand cream because it's a little bit longer than, I don't think I have one of the other ones. It's a little bit longer. So I think the normal cracker is about that long. But you can get a mini liquor bottle in this, and it's a lot of fun. People think, oh, you know, what is this? Because it's quite heavy. But anyway, that's what I've got for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this. Oh, here's the other one. This was the first one that I made, my prototype. And you can see how much shorter it is than the liquor bottle one. Yep. So you can close them up with all kinds of things. This is some ribbon. That's the other piece of this one. This is for the last liquor bottle. This is a piece of raffia. The raffia is nice because you don't have to tie a bow. It just looks good like it is. This is little bits of ribbon. I have used the white twine. The white baker's twine works really well. And you can tie them up. You don't have to necessarily make a bow with this either. But you can. So you can see it works out really well. And that's just how you tie them. It's super, super simple. I hope you guys will give this a go. I had a lot of fun working this out. And then what I'm going to have fun with next is look at all of these things that I have left over from making those 32. We don't need that. From making those 32 boxes. I have got to do something with these. Aren't they wonderful? And they're all exactly the same shape. And they're all exactly out of this wonderful paper. So anyway, maybe look for that project coming up next. Have a lovely day. Happy crafting. And I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.